It's a little bit of everything in this Shellac Stack listening session. Everything but the kitchen sink, so to speak. Jazz from the teens and 20s, some viewer requests, and maybe even some old-time country and country swing, western swing. Maybe. We'll see how far down that road we go in this Shellac Stack's listening session. Hello, welcome to Tone and Grooves. My name is Jeff, and this is a Shellac Stacks listening session. Thanks for tuning in. And what we were just listening to was a fantastic record that's a new addition to my collection here, just recently purchased online, an eBay purchase actually. It is the Louisiana 5. That was the Louisiana 5, and the song is Slow and Easy. That's from 1920. Super cool records in fantastic shape. A solid, I'd call it excellent on the 78 grading scale. So happy to add that to the collection. Let's see, the Louisiana Five. There's not much in like Brian Rust's discography as far as information about kind of the background of the band. He's got here listed. Let's see, Charlie Pinelli on trombone. I'm not sure how to pronounce this name. It's a Spanish name, so Alcide, Alcide. Nunez is the last name on clarinet. Joe Cawley, Cawley on piano. Carl Berger on banjo, and Anton Lada, Lada on drums. And that was Slow and Easy recorded. Recorded. Oh, and it says here Doc Berenson cornet added for that date, which was recorded December 16th, 1919. So, my mistake, 1919. I was just looking online here. It says Louisiana Five was an early Dixieland jazz band. It was active from 1917 to 1920, among the earliest jazz groups to record extensively. Louisiana Five was led by Anton Lada, who played the drums. Not a whole lot more information here. That's on on Wikipedia. Anyway, super cool tune from the Louisiana Five on Columbia. And we're gonna flip that over and play the B side, or the other side, which is a song called Dance-O-Mania, performed by the Happy Six. Happy Six has become one of my favorite music groups from the teens and 20s. And I've been just collecting their records when I can get them. So this is the Happy Six performing Dance-O-Mania, and this is from 1920. fantastic song, Dance-O-Mania, the Happy Six from 1920. Lots of, I don't know if you'd call them big names, but names that I'm familiar with anyway, from the teens and 20s in that lineup. Let's see here. You've got, and that was recorded. Where was that recorded? That was recorded on May 18th, 1920. And that is, according to Brian Rust, you've got Earl Oliver on trumpet, Tom Brown on trombone, and then some question here on who's playing saxophone. Rudy Wiedoff, F. Wheeler Wadsworth, or Bob Johnson on alto sax. And then you've got Ed Violinsky on violin. Violinsky, and he plays the violin. Interesting. Phil Oman on piano, and George Hamilton Green on drums. And that is the Happy Six from 1920. Super fun song. As I said in the little introduction, we're going to kind of be all over the place in this episode. I got, like I said, had a couple of new records. Purchased online, and so I wanted to make sure I play those because I'm just excited to have these and to hear these. And then we're going to do some viewer requests. Had a couple of viewer requests, and we're going to play those, and then going to dive back into that lot of free records that I mentioned in the last Shellac Stack listening session and play some of those. So this is a super interesting record that I was really pleased to be able to pick up online. This is a Columbia special sample record, or advertising record is called. Special price for advertising purposes, only 25 cents. And so definitely on one side you have a song sung by Henry Burr, Good Night, Little Girl, Good Night. And then on the other side, you've got this interesting, I'll take a close-up picture of it, but this interesting label that takes up most of the record, talking about all the fantastic stuff about Columbia Records. This special Columbia record sold for 25 cents solely as a sample of recording for advertising purposes exclusively. The regular standard price of Columbia Records, 10-inch records, is 65 cents, and they are double discs. That is, there is a record on each side of the disc. Other Columbia double disc records range in price up to $7.50 and include a magnificent series of grand opera records by the world's greatest artists, a majority of whom make records especially for the Columbia Company. And then there's a list of songs that you can find on Columbia Records. So I was looking online. I think this side of the record is an advertising spiel about Columbia Records, but I'm not 100% sure. So we're going to play that, and we're going to find out. This is from 1913. 1913, so super cool. It's in fantastic shape. It does have a little bit of a warp, but I don't think that's going to be bad enough to make it unplayable. So we're going to give this a whirl and see what we have on this side of this special promo Columbia record from 1913.
The other side of this sample Columbia record affords the best possible evidence of the quality of Columbia recording. It demonstrates the faithfulness of our reproduction of the singing voice, and it is typical of the quality of every record in the entire Columbia list. The standard price of 10-inch Columbia double disc records is 65 cents. As an interesting experiment, as well as a demonstration of the Columbia process of recording instrumental music, you will now hear some of the instruments of the Columbia Orchestra, commencing with the first violin, and adding successively the second violin, the viola, cello, flute, bass, oboe, clarinet, bassoon, French horns, bells, cornets, and trombones. Listen carefully and see if you can detect the exact moment at which each instrument is introduced. Point to remember, Columbia double disc records may be played on either Columbia or Victor machines, and they will unfailingly outwear any other record.
Okay, a little promo material there, speech about the record. That's really pretty cool. Very cool. Let's play the other side. Unfortunately, because of that warp, there was a little bit of a whooshing sound for the first part of that side, so I don't know how that's going to affect this side. We'll check it out. So this is Henry Burr, Good Night, Little Girl, Good Night, from 1913.
I've told you the story you asked me to tell, and now good night, I say. So rest you and slumber, and dream if you will, but never sad sleep, I pray. May all the world's gladness be yours, dear, and every day glorious and bright. Is the wish that I'm always when I say, little girl, good night. May all that is true be yours, dear. Good night, little girl, good night. But rest you and slumber, and dream if you will, you're safe this night, I know. If prayers that our hearts share be granted by Him, your lifetime shall peacefully flow. May all the world's gladness be yours, dear, and when I say, little girl, good night. May all that is true be yours still. Good night, little girl. Good night.
There we have Henry Burr. Good night, little girl, good night, from 1913. Really, I couldn't help but think about, as I was listening to that, just honestly how good that recording sounds, considering that that's an acoustic recording. Henry Burr had to sing that into a horn, with this orchestra behind him. There was obviously in those days there was no multi-track recording. The orchestra was in there in the room with him, and these recording engineers had to place everything in the room, arranged around the horn, the recording horn, perfectly, so that the voice wouldn't be drowned out, or especially when you have a jazz band, drums had to be placed way behind the rest of the band so that the drums didn't overpower the recording. And so I mean, the technical feats that they achieved in this acoustic recording process is it's just amazing to me and fascinating to me. And that so often tenors and these vocalists from the acoustic era sound like they're kind of yelling into the horn, and in many ways they had to, in order for their voice to be picked up by that acoustic recording process. So I was just, with all that in mind, just think about that was a very nice kind of gentle sound to Henry Burr's voice, which is just amazing considering the acoustic recording process. Okay, next up, we're going to do some viewer requests. I had some viewer requests here in the last couple of weeks. So Maximilian Fisher. Maximilian, hello. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Maximilian, he asked in a comment here this last week, would you please play your oldest 78 RPM record? So I'm going to do that. I have a handful of records from 1904. 1904. That's the oldest. I have a few, but unfortunately, many of those are in such poor condition that they're really hardly even playable. So this would be the oldest record that I have in my collection that's in the best condition. And this is Billy Murray from 1904, doing a song called Teasing. Teasing is the song. It's on, it's a Victor record, but it's on their Monarch label. So early Victor records from that era were on a Monarch record. I'll have a picture up on the screen there for you to see. So this is Billy Murray from 1904 singing Teasing.
Blue. I really don't know what on earth to do. Never thought my Evelina would flood. I'm on the alert, 'cause my feelings is hurt. I caught her on the sly. I'm making eyes that tell us passing by. I told her in a gentleman way, and this was all what you would do. Of course you know that I was teasing, teasing, to find out if your love was true. Don't be angry, I was only teasing you. I guess he thinks he's smart to go and sample on a poor man's car. Don't intend to stand up fooling no more. I'll go hunting for gold around somebody's door sometime. I think I'll leave and try to find myself another Eve. But what's a fella going to do when she rolls them eyes and says to you, teasing, teasing, I was only teasing you, teasing, teasing, just to see what you would do. Now, baby, you know that I was teasing, teasing, to find out if your love was true. Don't be angry, I was only teasing you.
There we have Billy Murray from 1904. 1904, and it's 1921, so that's what, 2004, almost 120 years, close to it. So super cool. That one's relatively worn as well, but it still plays pretty good. If I had a stylus that had a little bit bigger, a little bit wider stylus on it, that might play even better. But that is Billy Murray from 1904 on a Victor Monarch record from 1904. Teasing. Thanks, Maximilian, for requesting. Also, another viewer request. This one, Bill at the Vinylverse. Hey, Bill. Bill asked about, did I have any recordings of the song Me and My Shadow? And I have one. Performed by Nat Shilkret and the Victor Orchestra with vocals by Johnny Marvin. I like Johnny Marvin. I dig Johnny Marvin. I have a number of Johnny Marvin records. I'm going to clean this needle real good after that old Monarch record. So this is from 1927. I think I already said that. Nat Shilkret with Johnny Marvin. So this is Me and My Shadow.
my shadow, not a soul to tell our troubles to. And when it's 12 o'clock, we climb the stairs. We never knock, for nobody's there, just me and my shadow, all alone and feeling blue.
Very cool. Very cool. Wow, I was just, immediately struck as soon as the music started. The vast difference in sound quality and fidelity, that 1904 record with Billy Murray compared to 1927. Just what, 23 years later. The amazing drastic difference that electric recording made. I mean, holy smokes, the bass on that, we'll see if that comes through on YouTube, but the bass on that was just almost booming. And I mean, some of that's the RIAA curve that really should be, mixed out to hear it properly. But so some of that's interference there, but man, and just the sense of space, like it sounded like a recording in a hall, or not a tin can sound. I mean, totally opposite. And just the difference in voice, tone and quality, amazing. Fun song, really fun song. Johnny Marvin, I like his voice. Like I said, have a number of his records as well. So, Bill, at the Vinylverse, thank you for that viewer request. That was a fun listen, a fun record. We're gonna play the B-side in this, because the B-side is I don't know. I don't remember hearing it, but the B-side has a really interesting group from the 20s. So this is Gene Goldcat and his orchestra. Gene Goldcat, and the song is "I'm Gonna Meet My Sweetie Now." And I just really wanted to make sure to highlight some of the things that the people that we're going to hear on this record, on this side, because Gene Goldcat's orchestra had a number of big names from the 20s that played in that orchestra. So we've got Bix Beiderbecke is on cornet on this recording. Bix Beiderbecke on cornet. You've got Fuzzy Farrar. That's just a fun name. Fuzzy Farrar. And Ray Lodwig on trumpet. You've got Bill Rank and Spiegel Wilcox on trombone. Another fun name, Spiegel Wilcox. You've got Danny Polo on clarinet. Doc Riker on alto sax, and then you've got Frankie Trumbauer on C melody saxophone. You've got Joe Venuti on violin. Those are big names from the 20s, and Bix Beiderbecke and Frankie Trumbauer and Joe Venuti made lots of records together. Itzy Riskin on piano, Howdy Quicksell on banjo, Steve Brown on string bass, Chauncey Morehouse on drums, and we got here Bill Chalice. I'm not sure what that instrument is. And then Ray Muir on violin? No, V. I'm going to have to look those up. Anyway, I don't know what those abbreviations are. But anyway, Gene Goldcat just had lots of amazing and now legendary people in early jazz who played with his orchestra. So this is going to be a fun listen. I'm going to meet my sweetie now from 1927. Very nice swinging tune. Wow, that was great. Jazz violin. You wouldn't think that could be a thing, but it was. Fantastic. Excuse me. Wow. Yeah, fantastic tune. And look back in the abbreviations. Duh. A is arranger and V is vocalist. So, but instrumental side there. So Gene Goldcat and his orchestra, 1927. I'm gonna meet my sweetie now. Super fun tune. Very cool. Thank you, Bill, the Vinyl Verse, for leading us to that B-side. Thought I would kind of pick up where we left off in the last listening session. So we listened to this Clef record, Harmonica Boogie with Gene Krupa's trio. I thought we'd do the flip side. So that's September Song. September Song. This is from 1954. Gene Krupa Trio. So you've got Gene Krupa on drums, you've got Eddie Shue on harmonica, and Teddy Napoleon on piano. Let's clean this needle quick. And give this a spin. Cool song. Gene Krupa's Trio, 1954. Man. So we had jazz violin followed by jazz harmonica. Would not think that those would be a thing, but they are. They are very cool. I like that. Not much Gene in there on the drums, but that combination of jazz harmonica and piano is just really very interesting and really kind of cool. I like that. Let's see. So that was one of those free records that I got. Mentioned that in the last video. I guess quick say it again. Had a friend who had a family member call him up and said, they were cleaning out a barn or an outbuilding or something like that on their property, and they had some boxes of records that were sitting there for years, and so they called him up and said, "Hey, we know you you're into records and vinyl and whatnot. So if you want these, come on out and grab them. And he did. And there was a bunch of 78s in there. And Brian does not collect 78s, but he knows that I collect 78s. So he texted me quick and said, hey, I got 78s coming out of my ears. And, they were free to me, so they're free to you, any of them that you want. So I took about 20 or so. And that Gene Krupa record was part of that lot. This next one is also part of that lot. I have not listened to this yet, don't know this song. This is Benny Goodman and his orchestra. And it's a song. I'm going to play the side that is Every Time. And that has vocals by, I got to look because Jane Harvey. Jane Harvey's on the vocals. Looks a little worn. So maybe I'm going to bump this up. Put a little more weight on there. And this is from 1945. Benny Goodman and his orchestra, Every Time.
Every time, every doggone time I fall in love, I get a shove and a run every time. Every time, every doggone time I find romance, I'm taking a chance on losing my mind. I'm gonna learn to be a hermit, gonna live in a hermit's cave until I lose the blues my sweetie gave to me. I'm gonna burn my bridges behind me, I'm gonna hate all you men. You can look but you'll never find me behind the 8-ball again. Every time, every doggone time I fall in love, I get a shove and a run every doggone time. Until I lose the blues my sweetie gave to me. I'm gonna burn my bridges behind me, I'm gonna hate all you men. You can look but you'll never find me behind the 8-ball again. Every time, every doggone time I fall in love, I get a shot and a run every doggone time.
Fantastic swinging tune. Wow. Man, I love that. Absolutely. That is right up my alley. Right up my alley. Man. Benny Goodman and his orchestra, Every Time, with Jane Harvey doing the vocals on a Red Label Columbia. There's good stuff on Red Label Columbias. So many 78 collectors just pass them by, and they just kind of get They don't get much love, but there's good stuff on Red Label Columbia's. All right, next up, we're going to dive further into this lot of free records. These I haven't even put these in sleeves yet. I just cleaned them up last night. Picked out a number of country records, just, things that looked interesting. Artists with names that caught my attention, or songs that caught my eye. And so this is going to be one of those. This is, so the artist, I got to bring up because I went and did the research to get the dates and stuff. So this is Dude Martin, and his Roundup Gang. It's on RCA Victor from 1942, and we're going to play the A side, which is a song called Smooch. So both of those caught my attention. Dude Martin and the song called Smooch. I have no idea. I know it's country. But beyond that, I have no idea. Have not listened to this. Didn't go online and listen to it ahead of time. So I don't know what we're gonna get here, but I'm sure it's gonna be interesting. Dude Martin, Smooch from 1942.
When I come home all tired at night, and the whole darn day's been a big long fight, I can hardly wait when supper's o'er to tune in on the radio for the baseball score. And what do you want to do? Smooch. I like to rise at early dawn, grab the morning paper off our front lawn, sit down to breakfast, eat my cantaloupe, read the morning paper, get the latest dope. And what do you want to do? Smooch. Now there's a time and there's a place for everything. They say a young man's fancy turns in spring, but your fancy keeps turning all the time, without no reason, without no rhyme. Now look here, honey, please don't scold and tell me how my love's grown cold. It's just that a man's got lots to do, and when I get the time, I'm gonna get around to you. And you know what we're gonna do? Smooch. Honey, how about a movie tonight?
Oh, let's smooch.
Well, would you like to play a little gin rummy, dear?
No smooch?
Now there's a time and there's a place for everything. They say a young man's fancy turns in spring. Your fancy keeps revolving all the time, without no reason, without no rhyme. Now look here, honey, please don't scold and tell me how my love's grown cold. It's just that a man's got lots to do, and when I get the time, I'm gonna get around to you.
Honey, I saw the prettiest fur coat today. All my friends' husbands have got their honeys the nicest little fur coats, and I just don't have a thing to wear.
Oh, let's smooch.
Oh, that was hilarious. Really, that's so good, right? I mean, that's just so good. That's actually right up my alley. I dig that. His voice reminded me very much of Phil Harris, and I totally dig Phil Harris. Some kind of cool trumpet in there as well. Yeah, Dude Martin and his Roundup Gang from 1942, Smooch. All right, we are quickly approaching an hour, so we're going to go. This will be our last one, I think. This was something that just caught my attention. I've heard the name Spade Cooley. So Spade Cooley, king of Western swing, and his band. Man, what side are we going to play? You know what? Let's do the instrumental. There's a vocal on one side, there's an instrumental on the B side. Let's do the B side. The B side is called Blonde Fiddle Blues. Blonde Fiddle Blues. This is from 1948, I think. It's 1948. Spade Cooley and his band. The King of Western Swing is from 1948, and we're going to listen to the instrumental Blonde Fiddle Blues. Have no idea, but Western Swing, that sounds like something that's going to be up my alley. Very nice. That is some swinging Western swing. I like that. I really like that. Can't wait to hear the other side, but that will have to wait until the next Shellac Stacks listening session. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Thanks for commenting, subscribing, never expected, but always appreciated. Drop some comments. Always appreciate that. Love the back and forth, the interaction. Make some requests if you like. Thank you for those of you who did for make those viewer requests possible in this episode. Really appreciate it. Look forward to chatting with you soon. And to the next Shellac Stack listening session. Until next time, stay in the groove.